Ryan Seacrest with you, and my good friend, Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, joining us live this morning for a world exclusive on what happened over the weekend. Mayor, do you need a hand running?
I love that. World exclusive. You're beautiful. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. It's good to be back. I have missed you, and I read about your little tumble over the weekend.
Well, I work out on virtually every day, and I was working out with my security, and we decided to go bike riding. I hadn't been on a bike in a while. But, I used to cycle for years and used to go, pretty religious about it. We were on Venice Boulevard on a bike path, by the way, that was blocked most of the way with cars. And we were on the bike path, and a taxi just abruptly pulled out without a blink or anything. And in order to avoid it, I had to put on the brakes and hit my head first, and then my elbow. And I got a hard head, and luckily I had a helmet, so that was okay. But the elbow's busted, and I got operated on last night. And
so you did have an operation then, huh? At UCLA?
Yeah, I did. The way it was, apparently it was broken in a irregular way, and they needed to have an operation. So we a couple hours in there, and I'll be okay.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I'm sorry because you're a dear friend, and that made me sad that you got hurt. And lucky, I guess, that you didn't hurt your head. And thank God you had your helmet on.
Well, like I said, the head I wasn't as worried about, but the elbow, because it's so crucial to working out, I was a little concerned about. But they seem to think if we do therapy and had it was a pretty successful operation, that everything will be okay. That had me very concerned because, as you know, I like my workouts.
I know you do. And, Mayor, I have a ton of Ben Gay if you want me to come let you borrow some later. I have a ton of it.
I need some. I'll tell you, I need more than Ben Gay right now. And, of course, I'm going to continue my schedule, so I'll be working today. And, in fact, my first event today will be at the Lou Parker Project in South L.A. She's repainted and kind of beautified the lobby of the South L.A. shelter, and I'm going to go visit that at 10 o'clock and then have some meetings and, kind of continue the day.
Just run this major city. That's all. Just an easy day. Can you? I mean, and I don't know which hand it is. Can you wave?
Yeah, I can. But
can you shake hands?
I love what I do. I as you know, because we've talked about this 100 times.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I'll. I'm not in. I could be in pain in bed or pain sitting down in an office somewhere, or. And I don't have a lot of public events today, so I'll either be at the office or at Getty House having meetings. But other than that, it was great. And let me just tell you a great story.
Yes.
There were when I hit the ground. I wasn't unconscious, but I was a little dazed for a moment there, and I could tell the elbow was the size of between a tennis ball and a grapefruit. So I knew that I knew something was broken. And immediately this guy came up to me and said I was okay, and I said I was. And then he left on a bike, and he looked pretty destitute. I mean, a guy's struggling to make ends meet. And he comes back with, I guess he went to the store or something, but he comes back with a water, an ice bag.
Wow.
And then people started coming out of the house, and they didn't even know who I was at first because I had sunglasses and a helmet on. And they started coming out of the house with ice, and it was a really beautiful thing to see how much people care. In fact, it wasn't until after they had brought the ice and were assisting me that they noticed I was the mayor.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's really sweet.
You know what? It's great to hear in a city this big that people will stop and do something like that.
So I want to give a shout-out to all the residents on Venice Boulevard who just came out of their homes and, were so concerned. And they did this for just a cyclist because they didn't know it was me until
18 LAPD showed up.
Yeah, well, LAPD was with me, but they were in plain clothes, so they had no way to know that they were LAPD. And I didn't want to get on the. They were going to call an ambulance, but I didn't want to get an ambulance because I wanted to be incognito. But the way the world works. By the time I was,
he was already up online. Well, let me ask you. So now I've seen in the line of fire. Isn't your guy supposed to get in between you and the taxi?
Well, it's kind of hard when you're on wheels, Ryan.
Ellen, that's his job.
On my left, he was actually on the bike on my left to protect me against traffic. And honestly, if my the other security hadn't been there, we probably would have been hit by a car.
Wow.
We had to swerve, and it would have been a much more serious thing. But things worked out, and we're all good. And family got to visit yesterday at the hospital, so I didn't want them to come, but they all, family. You can't say no to when they come by, and everything's good.
Do you need anything? Can I help you with anything? Do you need some ice, or you need some? I know you don't need ointment, but
your doctors say don't use the arm, which is going to be impossible.
You know what I need, Ryan, but we won't talk about it on the phone.
Oh, you do know what he needs.
Yeah, he needs a big bear hug from me.
I love it. Look, thanks for giving me an opportunity to say hello and welcome back. And to all your listeners, we all love this guy because he's real. He's not fake. He's the real deal, everybody. And that's why we like listening to his show. And I was listening this morning. I said, I got to give him a call.